name is Katherine. I'm gonna be giving a presentation this week again. Let me take off my mask because I can't breathe when I'm presenting. I'm gonna be talking on CSUs today, and I have Mr. Eddie here and Jose that's gonna be joining us. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. So it's gonna be lengthy because there is a lot of CSUs, but I really want all of you guys to be introduced and informed on some of these schools. I'm not gonna go in depth with each school because there's a lot of them. So I just want you guys to know that if you have any questions for any school, to put it in the chat or feel free to message us. But yeah, you can hear me, Eddie?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with how many CSUs do you guys think there is? So put it in the chat, and we are looking at participation just like last week. Just take a random guess, or if you guys think you know the answer. What about anybody here? Do you guys think you guys know how many Cal States there is?
You guys should know. We talk about it all the time.
Almost at 13. 21 here.
All right.
30. So I have 13, 30.
I have someone to message me 23.
23. Okay. What about you? What do you think? How many Cal States? 17? Okay, so we said we have 17.
I see 22, 23, 22, 21.
Okay. All right, let's see who knows the real answer. So there's 23. So whoever guessed 23, they are on point. So there's 23 campuses of the California State University. So there's CSUs and there's UC. So I was just asking on Cal States. So there is 23 Cal States, and they are all over California. They're in different parts. And we're gonna look through each and one of them. We're gonna go from the top, which is Humboldt, all the way to San Diego, which is on the other side of the world. So yes. Okay, so first I wanna talk about impactation and what it is. So impactation is when too many qualified applicants want to go to a school or major, but the school does not have enough chairs. So a lot of times people apply to these schools and they get very discouraged when they don't make it. They think they're not good enough, or maybe like, what else could I have done to basically get into the school? But a lot of times it's like, there's only a capacity a school can take. And thank God there has been a lot of applicants. A lot of people want to go they want to continue going to school. For example, I know it's not a Cal State, but UC Berkeley, they sent an email this year saying that they have a lot of applicants. They want to accept a lot of people, but they don't have the space. So that's something to keep in mind when you're applying to a Cal State or even a UC, that don't feel bad because you don't get accepted. Obviously, we're going to help you and get you prepared, and hopefully you get accepted. But if you don't, sometimes it's because the school, the major is impacted. So sometimes you want to go to a school where, let's say, like Fullerton is known for business. So there's a lot of people that are applying to that school for business because that's like one of their best majors. And they're just going to get like basically a certain amount, and then the other people, they're not going to make it. Not because they don't want you, but because of the, it's just so full. And then keep in mind the CSU admits based on GPA and activities. So last week I talked about being a balanced student. So a lot of times you think like, oh, I have the perfect grades, I'm going to get in. But the schools want to see, like I said last week, I'm just repeating myself, they want to make sure that you're balanced, that you're able to like be in activities or be in a sport and also get good grades. Because what about someone that's like in sports and then they have like they're passing the classes, but they're still in sports? So you can see like there's a balance there, you know, they're trying their best to like basically do two things versus someone that has all the time in the world and they have like a lot of time to put into their work. That doesn't mean that you're not a good student. You are a good student, but like I said, schools are looking at a very balanced student. But that's not what today's about. Today's about the schools. So the first school we have is yes.
Is it okay just to add a little bit?
Yeah.
Another key thing to think about, since Kat brought up impaction, is okay, what if our dream schools is like Fullerton, Cal State Long Beach? Now that you know that they're incredibly like competitive schools, it's also great to look at some of the other options and opportunities that are out there. You guys, you know, are thinking or may think like, oh my gosh, this is the only school I can go to, but there's plenty of other schools and opportunities for you to be able to go in and for you to be able to kind of help out and be able to kind of explore different navigation of opportunities, especially if you're someone interested in STEM or things like that, like nursing or things like that, to even consider, which is just my own personal thing, even doing schools that are out of state or, you know, outside of California, because they have not only the great program and the resources, but they also have the support to help you out with, getting your licensure and being able to start working. So, CSUs and everything, but there are some great CSUs here in California.
Thank you, Eddie. And also that's why we're doing this presentation. So you can see there's many schools, because sometimes we think there's only like 3 schools, like, oh, there's only Fullerton, Long Beach, and Dominguez. Like, no, there's a lot of schools. They're just far. For example, Humboldt, that's up north. It is one of our furthest, it's the furthest school. So basically I have a little stat for you guys. So for Humboldt, we have applied 10,302 students applied. And then admitted out of those 10,000 are 8,000, which is not bad, right? It's still a good amount of people getting admitted. And then enrolled, it's 826. So basically, just keep in mind, a lot of these schools, like a lot of people are applying. Other schools, they have more people want to apply to those schools, but there's just so many options. Don't limit yourself. Ensure that they have your major. Ensure that that you qualify for everything they're looking for. Okay. So our next school is Chico State. Some of you guys may see the schools that you're thinking about, or maybe you're gonna hear about schools that you've never even, like for sure when I was in high school, I didn't know about Chico, I didn't know about Humboldt. These are schools that I got introduced to once I was in college, or even now as I work here, I'm learning about schools. So we want you guys to be very prepared. So Chico State is it's also up north. So yes, Eddie.
So sorry to bother you. But another fun fact is that Humboldt State is actually now a Cal Polytechnic University. So it's now officially considered, just like Cal Poly Pomona, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is now a Cal Poly school, meaning it's one of those great schools to now consider for some engineering, nursing, and especially because Humboldt is a school that isn't quite as impacted or doesn't have as many students, that now is a great chance to consider it, because now it's getting those Cal Poly resources. So, it's a very much science school.
Humboldt's going up there for engineering.
No, it is. It's climbing up. It's doing great.
And I feel like a lot of people underestimate Humboldt because they're one of the schools that accept are early, like you hear from them early. But honestly, it's such a great school. These are for people that are thinking like, I want to live far from home, because it's pretty far. You won't be able to drive back and come back home. So also when you're looking at these schools, look at the distance. Like, do you see yourself realistically being like 10 hours away? Like, or do you want to be like an hour where you could drive back home? This is a school that you need to plan like the trip back home. You can't just like wake up and leave. I mean, you can, but realistically you can't. And then next we have Chico State, which I said is really far. I know this school is also known for nursing. A lot of people that are looking into nursing, Chico State has a great program for it. They have business, they have pre-nursing, psychology, anybody that's thinking about criminal justice, liberal studies, biology. I feel like they're very they have a lot, like they have business, but they also have biology. So they have like a good amount of majors. So like I said, remember to keep looking into the schools, ensure that they have the major, because if they don't have your major, then unless they have something else that you're interested in, I just like look at other schools as well. Eddie, do you want to chime in?
No, that's a great point that you just brought up, because you also want to think about what's beyond, because your education is an investment. It's like buying a house, literally. When you're going off to college, you're paying off down payment for a house across your 4 years. So you want to make sure that it has all the resources that you're looking for, whether it's the club, whether it has like for pre-nursing, whether they can help you out, and their pass rate for taking the, what is it called? The NFLEX exam, which is their exam to make you become a registered nurse. What's their pass rate? What's the success? How many hours do they let you be in person? Especially for those that are interested in medical fields. Do they even offer an option to go abroad? Because that's a really hard thing, especially if you're doing STEM, where it's like you don't have the flexibility to like go out there and experience the world. So, check that out. And Chico State is a great school because it's kind of in the middle of California, but it's a really nice college town vibe. Like the school is very much, what's a great comparison to put it to? I think it's a school, I'd say Banning is like a nice place where everyone knows about Banning and everyone knows what's happening in Banning. So everyone's like very much in the atmosphere of like, let's go to a game, let's go check it out, let's go see what's happening. But in a college level, so you also have the freedom to kind of explore your own options, check out your own things with those great business programs and with that nice flexibility to just be like, oh, let me check it out. Let me have some nice little fun times out here because Chico is a great little fun time, and the housing's very nice, very cool city, and then nice warm weather, maybe hot, but you can do it.
And also something that I just like realized is that the campus is like it's not small, but it's not too big. So like what we talked about last week, also like those people that want an intimate level class, like you need to look into that too, you know, like these schools, like are they small schools or big schools? Some of these tend to be really big, so also keep that in mind. For example, this one, average class size is 30. I feel like that's like your normal high school class. Like 30 is not too intimidating. Yeah, let's go to the next school. Oh, this is just some more facts about Chico State. But next is Sonoma State University. Um, some unique majors that they have is geography, which we don't hear about a lot. Let's see, environment and planning focus on sustainability. We have liberal studies, anybody thinking about education, electrical engineering. So again, we hear that engineering is like a major that I hear about a lot, like in our students. So if you're thinking about electrical engineering, which we don't hear about a lot, this is a great school to think about. And then what else? We have, yeah, so business. If you guys are thinking about business for this is a great school too. And it is a good distance. So all these schools that I'm naming are a good distance. Like they're not like, let me leave right now and then I'll get there in an hour type of thing. I'll tell you guys once it's like, okay, this is like more in the middle. But yeah. Want to add something?
Yeah. One cool thing is that because Sonoma is like wine country, if you guys don't know, and hopefully you guys don't know about wine because like I don't even know about wine because we're all like underage. But one of the cool things is that wine is a multi-million-dollar business industry. So the nice little fun fact is that if you're someone who's interested in like food or like food science, or if that's something that you're like kind of passionate about when you go into your like your chemistry classes or your biology, learning how kind of food grows or GMOs and things like that, that's a cool place to consider as an optional major, working within the wine industry, wine culture. And because food science is like, science, they also have great pre-professional health programs, meaning that they have specialized counselors to help you with your health program. What that means is that you have unique counselors there to help you out, figure out that pathway, whether it's that nursing track, pharmacy, dental, veterinarian, physical therapy, occupational therapy, whatever that pathway is that you're looking for, they have that one-on-one attention. So that's very, very nice.
Very nice. Next, Sacramento State. So we know Sacramento is really hot. So remember, weather, important. So let's see, what do we have about Sacramento? Sorry, I'm trying to see the screen, but I have the pictures. Okay, so California's capital university. So 1,000 miles of waterways. So, like I said, this is like a warm school. This kind of reminds me of CSUN when you step out and it's already like you're already sweating. For example, in 2019, 27,000 people applied and 21,000 were admitted. So, when you're looking into the schools, you can also look, okay, like how many people actually applied to these schools? How many people are actually getting into these schools? So these are like, this is information that honestly, you don't really talk about amongst your friends, but it is important too. So you can see like, okay, let me see how many people are actually like looking into the school, maybe in 2020, 2021. So, and then enrolled, only 4,000 enrolled. But Eddie, have anything to say about Sacramento?
Of course. Sacramento's our capital. Great place to be. Very cool hipster vibe. I like where it says farm to fork capital of America, meaning that whatever you're eating is grown out there. So that means very farm to fresh food. So if that's something that's super important to you, or if food is like something you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go do that, you can go by all means do that. So I'm sure you guys watch plenty of YouTube videos and vlogs where people go like, oh, my trip to Sacramento, let me check out like little place with the keys and the little farmers market. So there's all that kind of fun stuff to explore, but it's really cool, artsy, kind of hipster vibes with a lot of forests and trees and natures. So it's kind of, you're in a capital and you're in a city, but at the same time you also have the luxury of just kind of have that freedom, kind of like, in a way, for me personally, I kind of think of it as like your little transport into like Oregon. Kind of how like Oregon's kind of like that, like free-ish kind of mountain hiker vibe. I feel like that's a little same situation that Sacramento kind of gives you with that ability to kind of be up there.
Okay, so if you guys like rural, I say rural.
Yeah, kind of rural, something like that.
Sorry guys, can't speak fairly. All right, next one is my favorite, Cal Maritime. So I literally just learned about this school like this. I feel like this semester I learned more about it because more of my students were interested in. I have one of the seniors at the Wilmington site that they like applied to the school, and I like learned more about it. I was very interested. Engineering, they have engineering. This is like more in the water. So if you, I mean, if you live in the San Pedro area or the harbor area, you're already used to that. I don't see why it would be a big problem. So this is a good school. I know engineering is like big. I think somebody was like thinking about design and they like applied to the school as well. So let's see. So they have business, they have global studies and maritime affairs. They have engineering, like I was saying. They have mechanical engineering. So a lot of engineering. If engineering is one of your schools, I mean, one of your majors, this would be a great school to look into. Business, you know, it's global. Math, if you're one of the, you're part of the STEM program, you're looking into that, that would be great. Eddie, you want to add on this one?
Yeah. So if you don't notice a trend within it, it's very much about international marine transportation, right? Well, there's a reason for that. It's one of the only schools that does that marine kind of preparation. So if you're interested in working with the marine industry, working on boats, working on being a mechanical engineer for a ship, being able to work on different types of marine transportation, marine business, marine coming in, exports, all that fun stuff, it is a great place to kind of go to. It usually has that connotation of being like a military school, but it's not a military school. It's not like 100% a military school. Yes, they have like different types of options, but if you go down, I think 2 more slides, you get to see it's like a really beautiful place. I think one more. Just
It may
kidding.
or may have not put it.
It's so fine. So good. Fine. Just kidding. But part of your campus is both off the boat, but as well as part of it's on the boat, where you have part of that kind of the marine training where you have to kind of prepare you to work as a naval officer, but you also have the pathway to just kind of go into your education. The key thing with this school, though, because of that kind of marine background, is that they're very on you about your grades. So that's also a perk. When you're there, like, they're gonna be on you to make sure you're passing. You're not losing your financial aid there. They're gonna say like, no, 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 come on, pass your classes, come use our resources, come on. So that's a getting perk.
And then how many other schools get to say like my classes are on a boat? Very little. That actually, I think that's kind of cool. And that's good. Like, I know it sounds kind of scary, like, oh, someone's on me for my grades, but in reality, like, you're paying all this money to go to college. We want you guys to pass a class.
No, 100% to succeed.
But yeah, sorry. All right, next is one of our favorites, San Francisco State. A lot of people know it. It's like a common school. So that's still up north. I've been to San Francisco a couple times. I've been to the school as well. I think it's such a beautiful campus, very new, I feel like I would consider it a very like liberal city, like very like, there's a lot going on. It's a school that's surrounded by like a city. So there's like different like activity happening. If you've ever been to San Francisco, it's like, you're able to like go into you go to the bridge, you're able to, also you're like close to like UC Berkeley. You have all these like close schools that you can go visit like your friends and stuff. But what I really liked about San Francisco State was that, I don't know, it felt very like homey. Sorry, my phone's ringing right now. And let's see if we have information for it. Yeah, so we have business, we have design. I feel like that's not a major that we technically talk about a lot, but there's like industrial design, there's visual communication design, there's kinesiology. I know some people are thinking about kinesiology. Health education, again, nursing, if you're thinking about nursing, San Francisco State is a great school. Some popular majors are business, engineering, computer science, communication studies, my favorite, psychology, biology, English. So you see they have like a variety of majors. They're not like very like, oh, all business or all engineering. Like, no, they have like, they're very well balanced. So this is a great school. What else do I like about it? I just felt like just living in San Francisco, I guess, like just being in that city is like great. I don't know if you want to add anything about this one, Eddie?
No, for sure. Who knows what visual communication design is, actually? Do any of you guys know what that is? I barely found out about it like, what, a week ago? So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if you guys know. You guys are more savvy. Yeah.
Nobody here.
Perfect. So it's a really actually cool major that I kind of found out. So what that is essentially the people who create or organize different types of things that we see visually. So let's say ad designs, let's say window displays at different types of stores. Let's say when you go to the decoration of how a place or a building looks, it's creating all that different kind of design. So if you like kind of event planning, being a little bit artistic, it's a really cool major for you to kind of consider, especially because it's not something that you find commonly. That's only at San Francisco State University that you have that major. And it's a really cool, very flexible major that you can use at multiple facets, from the entertainment industry, from the marketing industry to the medical industry, because it's all about creating different types of images to send a message and being able to communicate that message to other people.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
cool.
yeah, right? Like it's creating, I thought it was so cool. I was like, I should apply to this. What am I doing with my
Is
life
it kind
right
of
now?
like marketing?
It's kind of like marketing, but it's more of like that artistic kind of component and learning how to curate that to that message of your audience. So it's a very cool major. The other thing to consider, which I don't think we talked about yet, was your test scores, right? We all took the SAT and the ACT today, right? Well, just the SAT, sorry.
Yeah, everything.
We took it today. Hopefully we did well. Hopefully that helps out a lot. One key thing to consider, these schools or your California State University schools are probably one of the few schools that are going to require you or will potentially ask for you guys to have this exam score. So if any of these schools are options that you're looking into, it's great that we kind of study and prepare to take that test because it's a great opportunity for this, especially if you're interested in, again, those STEM majors or, yeah, essentially STEM majors. SAT, ACT scores are very much important, especially nursing. Nurses have to do a lot of testing, so they want to make sure that you're taking those SAT or the ACT to better prepare you, because a lot of those professional degrees, STEM degrees, require you to take a test to earn and be able to work. So test taking strategies, important things. What was I going to say? But back to San Francisco.
I have a question, Eddie.
Yeah, go for it.
Since we talked about testing, one of the students said she asked like she thought that you don't have to take SATs anymore. Like they're not considering it anymore. What do you
That's a
have?
great question. So for UC schools, it is no longer used as a method of, which we'll talk about next week. For UC schools, it's no longer used as a method of
Like assistance?
evaluation. Yeah, it's no longer used to evaluate and determine your acceptance. For private institutions and UC and CSU schools, so California State schools, it's up in the air. For private schools, it's open to if you want to submit it. It's going to look better for you if you submit it, especially if you're going into any of those major areas, because it shows test taking capabilities and it shows your ability to kind of handle that pressure. When it comes to CSUs, usually they admit based on your GPA and your SAT score, nothing else. That's all they looked at, and that's what would determine whether you got accepted. They paused it because of the pandemic, but the CSU schools love using that form, especially for things like nursing or those STEM degrees, because they really need it to evaluate to see your capabilities to handle the pressure. So I personally think it's going to come back, and it's going to be a thing that you would have to take for your CSU schools. But
Yay, we love testing.
yeah, so testing, fun times.
Fun times, we're back. I know I was hurt when they took it off. I was like, wow, for my year, I had to take it and they considered it. So I feel like those people that didn't have to, they got lucky. They were less, but yes, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Some people have questions about it. Right.
Oh, so sorry. Last thing. So sorry. Another thing about San Francisco. So it's been a little unpopular. So they're revamping their education to make it a little bit more affordable for you guys. So this incoming classroom. So they're trying to get more scholarships and financial aid because San Francisco is expensive, right? Living out there is like super, super expensive. So students want to go there, but they can't afford it. So they've realized that like, okay, students aren't coming. So they're trying to revamp it. So hopefully for you guys, you know, if this is an option for you, put it on your list because potentially they could be offering you more award letters this year or more better financial aid packages to make it more accessible for you. So, you know.
That's good. That's good to know because, yeah, San Francisco is a very expensive city. And I mean, you're technically just like your first year, you know, you're going to get used to the city. Some of you won't have a job. So it's important to like look into that too. But that's good that they're trying to help their students because that's what we want. And also, if you continue to come to our program, you should be leaving with some scholarships. We will be helping you, but that's for another day.
No, for sure.
Okay, so next, East Bay rising in the East. So East Bay is still, we're still far away. Some of these schools, I'm just gonna like kind of just go by it. If Eddie wants to add, he's more than welcome to. But if not, then I'm just gonna go to the next one. So East Bay, so let's see, for freshmen, they had 16,000 in 2019. We're looking at 2019. 16,000 applications and then admitted 76%. So they have a 76 acceptance rate and they accepted 12,000 and then enrolled 1,483. And then keep in mind, this is not the whole school. This is just the freshman, the first year. Don't think like, oh, I'm going to a school of 1,000 people. No, we're gonna times that multiple. And then the average GPA for the school is 3.23. So also, right here, we were talking about SAT and ACT. Don't let the score scare you, but that's why you start taking it at like freshman year, sophomore year, because every year you're supposed to better yourself. And then we have like tutors that can help you. Like, hey, I see that math is an area that I was struggling in my SAT. Can you please help me? Or English, that's why we have the tutors so you can better your score. We don't tell you this because we like want to bore you and make you do things. Like, no, we want you to like basically we want to help you. And I know for sure a lot of times when I was in high school, we didn't take these like pre-test serious. We were like, oh, like who cares? Nobody's gonna see them. But in reality, you want to see where you stand, and then these schools are considering it. I mean, they haven't said that they're gonna look at it, but you always want to go the extra mile. I was talking about that. When you're in a relationship, you want that person to go extra mile. And schools want you to go, they want to see that you're willing to go the extra mile for it. Eddie, you want to add anything on East Bay?
That's a great question. It's a lovely little school, not particularly as popular, but if you're interested in something that's a little bit more coastal, like close to the ocean, East Bay, Monterey Bay, those are great schools that are close by. Channel Islands, all very similar schools. Great education programs and systems, but the key thing is that because of their distance, like they're not crazy far away. They're like 3 hours away. It makes it a little hard to make that financial aid kind of fit for you. So that's just a little thing to consider. But the schools have really great programs to support you. So,
I guess, and just like I said last week, just because the school is not like very known, it doesn't mean it's a bad school. It's just like I said, I wasn't informed. A lot of people are not informed, and that's why we want to inform you. So you know that there's other schools that you may have never heard about that are available to you that may offer your major, or they may have a program that you're interested in. So take mental notes, take notes in your little packet, like, oh, this school sounded really good. This is a good distance for me. Like, it's just so you can do your research, or you can ask us and we can do the research for you and
For
just
sure.
help you.
For sure.
And then the next school is San Jose. I visited a lot of these schools when I was in high school. I was fortunate enough to travel around and see these different schools. I saw San Jose. It was a beautiful school. I just felt like it wasn't for me, but it's okay. It could be for somebody else. Let me see. I didn't have anything, but what do you want to say about San Jose? If you want to add anything?
Oh, so sorry. I was just gonna add. What was I gonna add? As you were saying about and not about the reputation of the schools. That a lot of times it's no longer about what school you're coming from. It's about the work ethic and what you do at the school. So when jobs are hiring people, it's no longer about like, oh, like, did you do this? Or, oh, you came from USC or you came from San Jose State. It's about what did you do in your school? What did you perform? It's no longer about, what school did you come from? It's about what can you bring to the table. So it doesn't really matter where you're going to. It's more so about do they have the things that you're looking for? Do they have the things that you feel comfortable enough and is your right fit to be able to flourish and be able to go out there? There are some schools, which we'll talk about next week. I think the CSU is a little bit different where, what was I going to say? There are some schools where it's just a lot of work coming at you at once that you have to go find that help. And are you going to be the type of person to go find that help? Or do you need a school that's going to be there more to kind of support you? A great option of that is kind of the CSUs, especially San Jose State, which is one of the most transformative CSUs, which is very, very, very awesome to kind of know. And it's a great opportunity to kind of help you out. San Jose is literally, I like to say, kind of like the Cal State Long Beach, just kind of up there close to San Francisco. Gives you plenty of space to travel out, and especially if you're thinking of anything technological or computery or anything like that, San Jose is a great place because you're right there, Silicon Valley. They have a lot of partnerships and networks to kind of be able to help you out. So I think it's a great school to kind of explore, kind of have fun.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, my computer's about to die. Oh yeah, next school, Fresno State. Yay! I know Fresno is like everybody has heard of Fresno, right? I think so. So Fresno is hot. Every time I think of Fresno, I think about strawberries. Wait, is it Fresno? I don't know. I don't know why I
Yeah.
think about strawberries. Maybe it's because my family goes to like the strawberry festival every year.
No, it's
So
impressive.
yeah, Fresno.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Okay, so Fresno has again weather very hot. They have. I'm gonna talk about the strawberry festival because my family goes every year and they think it's like so cool. So basically, like the little community gathers together and they like everything's about strawberries basically, and you're able to like buy strawberries. You're able to. I don't know if you're able to like get it yourself. I've never joined because the weather is like a no for me. I'm like, just bring me back strawberries. I'll be good at home. But if you love the heat, you love summer. That's a great like something cool about Fresno, the city, is that they do have like a festival every year. Um, Fresno State is like also like close to home. Fresno's only like what 2 hours away, 2 to 3 hours away, I would think. Yeah. Huh? So if you're like thinking, you know what, like something close to home, not really close, but I'm able to go home once in a while. If you have a car, Fresno State would be awesome. It is a great it's a great school. Let me see if I have anything. Okay, so for Fresno State, I have pre-health, biomedical physics. I have forensic science. That's cool if you're thinking of forensic science. Let's see. It's the largest on-campus farm in the nation. So if you like animals, you like farms, you like barns, you like all that fun activity, you could think about Fresno State. What else? Ranked 17th in the nation by Washington Monthly. So they're ranked the 17th school. What do you want to share, Eddie?
Oh, it's a really beautiful place. Besides the fact that it's like kind of like really hot, kind of out there, and very much like a lot of farms out there, a lot of farms out there. It's a really great education system, a lot of great support, and even the dorming is really nice. Like Fresno housing, when I was exploring it with a student, was really really nice. Like the patios, the grills, the options, even the room spacious, was just very nice and flexible. And even the amount of financial aid was a very nice, healthy package to support students. So great little options in Fresno State. Really
A
fun
lot of,
school.
would you say there's a lot of dirt?
One more time.
Like a lot of dirt, a lot of like 'cause that's
Outside
what I
of
think of.
Yeah, outside of the school, yes, but the school itself is like a nice little college town. Like there's things to do, kind of like Chico State, where there's like a nice little like college town vibe to be able to go to the mom and pop shops, go explore little different areas, and then of course do things at the school.
Okay. And this is still about Fresno State, but we'll continue. So Cal Poly, this is one of the schools that a lot of people know about. Let me see if I put anything. Okay, so Cal Poly. This is a very known school. A lot of people that are thinking about engineering tend to apply to this school. So we have different colleges. We have agriculture, we have architecture, we have business, we have engineering, liberal arts, social, and mathematics. So a lot of these programs are like STEAM programs. So if you're thinking about, so basically, if you're in high school right now, if you're thinking about like engineering or like any STEAM, like a lot of schools that have these programs, ensure that you're taking your math and your science. Because a lot of people will be like, okay, I already met my like requirement, I'm good. But schools are looking, ensuring that you're like taking that extra class, even though you don't have to. It just looks good. Let me see. This has a small class size, so average 35. I don't consider that too small, but for like Northridge, it was like 100 students, so maybe it is compared to 135 is a little bit. They have 63 majors and 84 minors, and then they're in the Central Coast, and it has a college town location. I don't know if you want to share anything.
San Luis Obispo is it's very pretty. Like I think it's pretty. Like you saw all the forest and the trees. I thought like it's a very nice vibe. I haven't actually personally been, so I can't really tell you much about like the vibe of the school. But yes, one of the favorite things that I like on there is the fact that it says "learn by doing," and that's very, very true. It's all about hands-on education. As one of the top kind of engineering schools, So they have plenty of opportunities and options for you to kind of go. Engineering is kind of their strong suit, but of course you can explore different types of majors, different types of areas. You can see its proximity between San Francisco and Los Angeles. So it's like midway through on your travels, but very, very cool school. And I like the learn by doing because that's the nice theme within the CSU system. If you are someone who's very much a hands-on kind of type of person, very someone who kind of likes to support and likes taking their time with their classes, CSU is a great system for you because they work traditionally on that semester system with the exception of a few schools, but traditionally that semester system, and there kind of is more of that hands-on approach typically. So pretty nice options.
Okay. And then also for engineering, you can even see like on the little chart right there, like 18,000, like out of all the majors, that one has one like the highest applicants, which is 18,000 compared to like agriculture or like architecture, that's 4,000. So here you're able to see how competitive the school is just in that major. Remember, sometimes it's not like we're looking overall, but like sometimes it's the major that's like very impacted. And that's what we were talking about at the beginning, you know? So if they were to say no, not saying that they are, but if they were to, like, okay, is my major like very impacted and engineering, it's impacted, we still would encourage you to apply, but just have that in the back of your mind, okay? Like this is a competitive engineering versus someone that's applying for agriculture that has like a 2,563 applied. Yeah. And Ludi, if you ever want to say anything, let me know. And then we have CSU Bakersfield. Again, Bakersfield, I always like think about weather because, sorry. I always think about weather because that was something very important to me. Like I said, I always think about season when I would like come out and it was so hot and I would be like, what did I get myself into? Because I was not aware of the weather, even though it's in the valley, kind of common sense. But I didn't know, I was little in my eyes. Anything about Bakersfield, Daddy?
So Bakersfield is a great place. What's the best way to say this? So a lot of people are moving to Bakersfield because it's a lot cheaper to be out there, right? It's a lot cheaper to live out there. Everything's kind of spread apart. Everything's kind of like off main strip. When I think of Bakersfield, I think of old people, which may sound like a little rude, but a lot of older generations, are moving out there to kind of, retire, live their life. There's a lot of, what is it, nursing homes or kind of like communities where they need nurses, which is why Bakersfield is a really good school if you're interested in nursing because they have a lot of connections to support you with that, as well as one of the most impacted majors at Bakersfield. If you're interested in something else, Bakersfield is a great option, probably fairly easy to get into. But if you're trying to go into nursing, Bakersfield is another great option because they have a direct nursing program.
And when I think about like Fresno, Bakersfield, I feel like these schools are very like generous when it comes to their financial aid. Do you think? Like they
I agree.
give you good, I don't know, compared to other schools, these are schools that honestly like financially they are very helpful. They're willing to pay for most of it. So that's like if you're scared like financial, like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to pay for it. Like look into these schools as well, like is this an affordable school? I would say yes. For some people.
Close to Dodger Stadium.
Next, we have what is it? CSU Channel Islands. Let's see. So for Channel Islands applicants, we have 11,000 admitted, 9,000 and enrolled 890. And keep in mind this is 2019, so it might have changed due to the pandemic, due to we're already in 2022. So a lot of more people are applying because I feel like the pandemic it like changed a lot. Definitely because it was virtual. But Channel Islands, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble saying it. It's known for nursing. So you see nursing is one of like their main impacted major. They have engineering. And then Eddie, you want to add anything on this one?
No, for sure. So they have mechatronics engineering, which is something totally different and something very specific. So that's something like if you're interested in that specifically, or you could explore with your case manager, maybe Channel Islands is a great school for you. Nursing, one thing that you heard me just say with Bakersfield is the fact that there's direct entry. And part of the reason why I say direct entry means typically with nursing programs, just to put it out there, or even like engineering or STEM programs, you're considered a pre-major. So that means that you have to either reapply to the program once you're at the school, you have to keep reapplying to the program. So you kind of have those little trials and tribulations of having to continuously meet your requirements to actually be able to get into the program. With Channel Islands and Bakersfield, since they have a direct program entry, that means you are already within that major. So it makes it easier for you to just be in that nursing major or in that same major. So you don't have to reapply. You don't have to do these prerequisites. You're just on your pathway to earning your degree, as well as they have a lot of partnerships to help support with your licensure experience. Also, fun fact, it has a beautiful little tower. The Ring was filmed there. So if you guys like spooky places, well, this scary movie, so Channel Islands.
I think that's a great nursing school. And maybe just go right into it, because a lot of people, they get like nervous because they're like, well, I didn't really get into the nursing program. Will I really make it in once I'm there? So this would be like a guarantee that you're in the program itself.
Yeah.
And again, it's a drive. How many hours do you think for this one?
I'm really bad at geography and just direction. I'm sure Ludi's been thinking like, you guys, 2 hours away. That's like 6 hours away. That's
I know
probably
the first couple ones, they were like 7, 9 hours. Like San Francisco's like for sure 7 hours. I don't think anything less unless you're like going super fast. 6 hours, I'll give you 6 hours. Tops.
I think it's maybe 4. Humboldt's like a day because you're going to the tip of California.
Yeah, Humboldt is like another side of the world. I think Channel Islands is still like a good distance, you know? It's not like, let me go to Channel Islands right now and come back in an hour type of thing. So let's go to the next. CSUN, my favorite. For any of you that don't know, I graduated CSUN, Cal State Northridge. It is close to home. I feel like this is kind of in the, I would consider this in the middle just because I drove there for my last 2 years of college. It was an hour, I'm gonna say 45 minutes without traffic, but with traffic, it'll be like up to 2 hours, like depending on the route you decide to take. I found like loopholes that would go around. But right now with gas, I don't know how you guys feel about that. I put a picture of me and Caesar. I don't know if he's here. I can't really see. But Caesar actually went to Northridge as well. And then I went to Northridge. I graduated class of 2021, right? Yeah, last year. And I really had a great experience at CSUN. I kind of just want to share because, I don't know, this is the school I went to, so why not, right? So basically what I really liked about CSUN, it was just very like diverse, like a diverse school. You saw like a lot of different ethnicities. I didn't feel like, I don't think I felt like overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, there's so many, like this amount of people. Like it was just odd. Like it was very well balanced. It was close to home. So if I ever wanted to go home when I lived there, I did live there my first year, I was just able to drive home. I was lucky enough to have a car. And then also, I felt like CSUN was very like, they have a lot of programs to help you. Like they're like, if you're undocumented, they have the center where they help you, they guide you. They have their EOP program that like helps you your first 2 years of college. And they just have a lot of like different like places, like tutoring. Like if you need tutoring, it's so accessible to you. Like you don't have to like break your head. Like, where is this place? Like they put it in the library, the place where most of the students will go. And you're able to just go in, ask for help in different classes. Their popular programs are biology, business, cinema, television, arts. I know their arts program is like so big, like their building is so pretty. Kinesiology, music, psychology. I know there's a lot of people interested in psychology. Music, I took one of their music class and it was just so cool. You know, they had like their own like, what is it called? Like their own building. It was just so nice. Even though I'm not into music like that, I just wanted to like check it out. And then unique programs that I'm going to talk about is their deaf studies. I feel like I've met like a couple students this year that are very interested in deaf studies. And that's like a community that you see a lot in CSUN. And I know I'm talking a lot about this school, but it's just because I went there, you know. There was a lot of times where like I was just like sitting down with my friend and you would see like a whole community of like people just sign language. Like that was a big thing. And I feel like you don't see that a lot, especially like in our communities. That's not something that people talk about a lot. And then also like when I was in my classes, there was always an interpreter. I don't know how they were able to interpret like biology words. I could barely say it. And they were just like over here doing the whole like hand movement, and then music industry, sustainability, and then entrepreneurship. So those people that want their own business. But yeah, let's see. And then I know a lot of people like CSUN because it's like a safety school. So they have a lot of applicants. They have 30,000 applicants, and then admits 80,000. That's pretty good. I just want to share about deaf studies more because I thought it was so cool, but I already shared about it. So if you see this like a picture, that's usually how it looks, you know. They even have like whole classes where they just do deaf studies. So if anybody's thinking about that, that would be so cool. And then they have like an amazing gym. But do you want to add anything, Eddie?
No, I think another cool thing about it is just like how you said how it's like so multicultural that they even have like folklorical teams. They have different types of teams about that you know you don't really see often at schools. So it's a nice little opportunity to take advantage. And even in the slide before, you saw some of their partnerships. That's also a great opportunity for you to consider for like internships with Bullring, sustainability, build Ponder for biomedical research. So they have those partnerships there to support you and kind of build your resume for your future. So sometimes it's better to do research in your safety school than your dream school because the safety, you want to make sure that it has everything that you want. That might be where you end up. And the safety may actually be the right choice for you.
Yes. So that's all. And then we have Cal State LA. So these are closer to home. These schools are more closer. They are, I feel like they're like down the street, not literal, but they're not as far as like Humboldt State. So Cal State LA, I've been to the campus. It's very nice. It's like, I would say like, I don't know, from here, I think like an hour or two. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
From my house, I would say an hour or 45 minutes, but from here, I would say like an hour, 2 hours with traffic. Traffic is a little crazy. My sister went to Cal State LA for social work, so they have a very good social work program. It is a school that is close to home, so you're able to just drive. If you're thinking about commuting, this would be a great commuting school. But also, it's like I think you can also like if you're thinking about like, oh, my first year, I want to live on campus. Their dorms, I've been to their dorms, and they're very spacious, very nice. They're very. I feel like they're renovated compared to some schools that are they're like very old. Cal State LA would have they have like newer dorms. And then Cal State LA, they have 33,000 freshmen that apply and then 16,000 admitted. A lot of liberal art studies, liberal studies. That's like a great major as well. I know a lot of my friends that are like, they want to pursue a career in teaching. They're going to Cal State LA for that too. I don't know if you guys want to add on Cal State LA.
I'd say if you're interested in anything artistic, Cal State LA to me looks like a kind of reminds me of a museum. Like there's different types of like cool pieces or art like kind of structures that they've kind of invested in it. And they've really invested into Cal State LA. And one of the beautiful things about Cal State LA is that it has the most success in helping graduate students of color. Out of any school across California, Cal State LA is the one that's having the most success, the most support to help first generation students of color graduate and earn not only their bachelor's degree, but even their master's degree. So Cal State LA is there to support students of color, Latinx students, Black students, all types of students to help them succeed in higher education. So they're putting in the work. That's why it's a really top-notch school. You see what Ludi wrote? It's lower than Dominguez Hills. Their tuition, lower than Dominguez Hills. So Cal State LA, right? Like that's a great option.
That's a good fact. I didn't know that.
And a forensic program?
And next I have Cal State Fullerton. I love this school. I didn't. So Fullerton is I would say I always say it's the opposite of Northridge on the other end. It's like an hour to an hour. I don't know. Martigano goes to that school. So if you're at Wilmington, Marty goes to that school. So he can give you further detail. But Fullerton is known for their business program. Business is one of their like top-notch majors. Communications, they have a great communications program as well. My friend graduated from here and she truly loved the communications department. They were very helpful. And then also their dorms. I've been inside their dorms, their freshman dorms, and they're very nice. They're fairly new as well. They have a very like their university community is like very nice. Like there's things to do around because that's something important too. You want to ensure that there's like what is there outside the school? What can I do outside the school? And I feel like Fullerton has a like there's a lot of things nearby that you're able to just like even walk. And they have a lot of like apartments if you're thinking about like living off campus but close to the school. They have a lot of apartments across the street. So that's like something that I really liked about Fullerton. I don't know if you want to say anything, Eddie.
It's the city of oranges. So if you see in their logo, it's both the Titans because there's oranges growing around locally. Orange County. So like Kat was saying, plenty of opportunities and options out there. The OC Fair is close by out there. There's plenty of things to engage your community. Fullerton, just like Cal State LA, is some of the most impacted institutions. So the harder to get into, but they have a lot of support, have a really nice honors program. And another key highlight, it's one of the only highly impacted schools to have a direct entry nursing program. A highly competitive direct entry nursing program, which is really hard to find. Cal
Oh, yeah.
State Fullerton has that, the only one. It's a lot lengthier of an application, but if you can get in that way, it's truly, truly, truly worth it because you're getting in and you're making that pathway to nursing, like for sure, like it's happening. You're gonna become a nurse.
Yeah, I literally just learned that this year that Fullerton is one of the top notch for nursing because I had a student that got into like the nursing program in Long Beach, but then they still had to get interviewed for the Fullerton one, and I was like, what? I didn't know they even like did that. So they are up there with that major, and also Disneyland is nearby. A lot of my friends would go. They would either work at Disneyland or they would obviously go visit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Disneyland is having a fair April 21st. If you guys are interested in getting a job at Disney, they're having a fair. So you guys can explore and see all types of jobs, full-time, part-time, everything.
Oh, that's cool. And then what is this? I can see it.
San Bernardino.
Oh, San Bernardino. Sorry, I'm like, it's blocked. I can't see. So we have San Bernardino School. Hot. I think hot when I think of San Bernardino. I don't know if you want to add anything on this one. I didn't really like add too much.
So San Bernardino is nice in terms of its location because it's like in between, let's say like us, San Diego. It's kind of coastal vibe, so it's nice little kind of atmosphere and vibe. In terms of the educational options, there's plenty of options. It's not too far of a commute. They do have a great EOP program, and it's one of those schools that will kind of let you know quickly whether you've been accepted or admitted. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of options. Another thing to add about, actually, I'm just add about Fullerton. Fullerton has a great business program. So if you guys are interested in business, Fullerton's a great place. San Bernardino's up and coming, and they're renovating. So give San Bernardino a chance to really explore. They're the Coyotes. They're building it up to kind of make it stronger and kind of, have more students kind of draw in. So I'd say it's a worthwhile to kind of pay attention to kind of look into it just to see because there's innovation starting to go on over there. So that may mean like new facilities, new equipment, which might be beneficial for you guys to explore.
Yeah, they're constantly like renovating a lot of these schools. They're just trying to make it more new. And then everybody knows one of our closest Cal States is Cal State Dominguez Hills. I'm sure most of you have heard of or maybe have even been there because it's really close to here. Dominguez Hills, when I think about Dominguez Hills, I think about liberal studies. I think about teaching. They have a great teaching program, a great, like if you're thinking about like counseling in the future. I know for sure like Dominguez Hills helps a lot when it comes to undocumented students. We had an undocumented student, I think it was last year, one of our students. She had like a lot of help from Dominguez Hills, like helping her get a job, just making her feel basically comfortable with that school. It is a commuter school, so most of the students that do end up going to this school end up just driving, and then because it's just so close. I mean, you can live there; they have dorms, but it's close to home, so why wouldn't you commute? And then also, what was I gonna say about Dominguez Hills? I don't know. I'll Eddie take over. I can't think.
Another cool thing for National Signing Day, I don't know if you guys heard for like all of your schools, they're trying to bus out to Dominguez Hills so that you guys can go out there. Dominguez Hills is actually really, really nice. Like the schools and the facilities, like they're putting in work to really renovating and updating it. And the nice thing about Dominguez Hills is that I think because of the ideology behind it is that it's so flexible that you can come in at any age level and any kind of time frame, and they're gonna put in the effort to work with you. And that may not sound like much for you guys like right now because you're like, oh, like who cares? Like I don't have anything going on. But if a school is willing to like make that effort to kind of really work with you to help you achieve your education, that means they're putting in the value in you to make sure that you're going on the right path and direction to achieve your goals. A school like USC, a school like UC Irvine, they could care less whether you show up to class or you're doing your things to make it beneficial for you. Dominguez Hills is putting like that extra effort so that you can kind of help out and kind of go in. So it's, if you can see, ranked for overall mobility, just being able to move out and kind of flow through at the pace and the style that you need. Like Dominguez Hills is putting in the work and they're putting in the education. So it's a great option.
And they're very diverse as well, so you won't get like overwhelmed. And it is close to home, like I said. And then you get it's one of the safety schools. So this is one of the schools that a lot of people apply to, as their safety. But honestly, it's such a great school. I feel like this is an underestimated school. Like, oh, it's just Dominguez Hills. But honestly, like, because I used to think like that. I'm just saying that because I used to think like that in high school. But now, like, I'm learning about all these programs and how much they truly care for their students. Like you said, there's some schools that are like, well, whatever. But this is like one of the schools that genuinely wants like you to succeed and continue to pursue higher education. So I feel like this is a great school as well. So don't underestimate Dominguez Hills. Miss Ingrid gave me a different input in Dominguez Hills because she's an alumni from there. So I thank her for that education. And then Long Beach, another close to home, CSU. So Long Beach is a very great school. I love Long Beach. They're known for their nursing program. Like I said, I thought, wow, like Long Beach is the best, like nursing, but Fullerton's up there as well. I just learned that. So a lot of people want to go to Long Beach because they really like want to get into the nursing program, but they also have a great engineering program, right?
Long Beach is top in like everything. You name it, Long Beach has put in the effort, the resources to be like very up there. The key or tricky thing with Long Beach is that it makes it hard to graduate on time because of the amount of classes, resources, and students. But the nice thing is that Long Beach has it so far down or has everything so compact that they don't even need to promote. Like if you go to college fairs or anything, Long Beach doesn't need to be there. They have enough students applying and they can barely fit them in that Long Beach is saying like, I don't even need to go. Like we've established that we have the resources to support and the network. Like they have connections to NASA, they have connections to Boeing, they have connections to Northrop Grumman. They have connections to every single field that when you're going to Long Beach, you're going to Long Beach for a reason to help move on to that next path. Really
I feel like the school has been very generous these last 2 years with acceptance because for 2016, when it was like literally impossible to get into Long Beach, or I don't know if it's like the area, if they're like, but I just feel like our students are very generous. A lot of these, like you guys are able to get into this school versus other like cities or communities that it's like really hard. It's a very impacted school. So again, like that's something to consider. I think when I was in high school, I didn't apply because it was so impacted that my mentality was like, I'm just not gonna apply because I don't think I'm gonna get in. But of course, we're gonna encourage you to still apply and just keep in mind like the different majors. It offers a lot of majors, so it's a school to consider.
No, for sure. And for sure apply because one of the unique things that only Long Beach does is that it has its Long Beach pathways / waiting list. Out of all the schools, Long Beach is one of the few ones that kind of utilizes that and has a pathway to say like, hey, like I'm interested in you, but I'm not 100% sold. So can you do these few extra questions or these few extra options for me so I can determine whether or not I can fit you in? So Long Beach is one of the few places that does that. So they really want to help and support people.
And you're able to just drive there or take the bus. It's really close. It's a big campus. I just drove by it like 2 days ago and I was like, whoa. I thought we were done with the school and I just kept going and going. I was like, dang, it's a big campus. I like it.
I drove by it today. Huge.
Oh, you did?
I did.
I was like, okay, we're in another street. And I was like, wait, it's still Long Beach. And then, okay, Cal Poly Pomona. The Cal Polys are very known for engineering, another engineering school. We have San Luis Obispo, and then we have Pomona as well. So these are two different schools, but great engineering programs. I feel like these schools are like, they're very like very competitive. These schools are very competitive, very impacted, but you can still apply. Engineers apply still. I don't know if you want to say anything about this program.
No, for sure. It's the thing about a school that has the Poly name attached to it. You know that it's a school that's focusing on hands-on education as well as it's having the resources to help you support in getting into that field of your dreams. Yes, engineering is one of the focuses, but they also have focusing on STEM areas, English, whatever that degree kind of is. They're there to support you. One of my favorite things about the Pomona system, Cal Poly Pomona, Obispo, all of them are great institutions, is that not only is the degree very similar and the degree and the support for the students, but it has the ability for you to kind of specify and go into really finite details. Because if you think about, let's say, engineering, you have the broad areas of like civil, electrical, things like that. But now within Cal Poly Pomona's, you can take that into a step further from going to mechanical to now going to audio engineering, thinking about the sounds you do for movies, for Zoom, for things on your computers, to nanotechnology, to physics, to everything. So it really gives you the opportunity to kind of really finite and really tune into what it is that you're passionate about to really explore what that means for you. Plus, freshman dorms, you have to live there your first year, so really fun.
All right, I'm gonna start going a little faster because I'm aware of time. I wasn't aware, but now I am. So next we have San Marcos. I really love the school when I went. It's like close to San Diego. So anything that's like near San Diego, I love. This was during that time it was like very, very new. So San Marcos, I feel like it's a very underestimated school as well. Not a lot of people know about it, but honestly, the campus is so beautiful, very renovated for sure. When I first went in 2016, it was like still like they were doing a lot of renovation. So I can't imagine like now it's like so beautiful. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yes, quickly. Key things to remember: beautiful weather, close to San Diego, not quite at San Diego, but close to San Diego. Small classroom sizes, so meaning that you have a lot of one-on-one teacher support. So a lot of ability to connect and just speak with your teachers. So that's a really nice benefit of San Marcos.
And then Jose said it has very good food. Just one fact. And then lastly, San Diego State. I love San Diego State. I was able to go in person. I was able to go to San Marcos as well. San Diego State, such a beautiful school. I personally fell in love with this campus. It's very big. It's a big campus, like very beachy vibes. So when you're thinking of San Diego State, obviously it's in San Diego. I love the weather. San Diego is a very big campus. You can even tell by like the pictures, you know, it has like, I feel like, I don't know if would you consider this a diverse school?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would.
I think the community outside the school is very diverse. Inside the school, maybe not as much, but you know, we're trying to build it up. But outside, I think very, very much diverse. Inside the school, it could use some work. I'm not gonna lie.
We could get more of us in there.
Yeah.
But what I really like about San Diego State as well is like there's a lot to do outside of school. Because there's some schools where like, you know, it's like very like closed off. But this, like you have the city. So you're able to just like leave. You're able to go to like the beach. You're able to, it's really close to the border as well. So some people even go to like Mexico if they're able to. So I think that's pretty cool. You can't do that when you're in Northridge because it's so far. But San Diego is like really close. I think it's like, is it an hour or from the border?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like kind of like, I would say like an hour. So yeah. And then let's see, fun facts. So top 30 national wide for ethnic diversity. Also this, I feel like Cal State San Diego is like it's a school that is very impacted as well. Like it's hard to get into. Like I just want to be real. This is a hard Cal State. It's almost like considered a UC. It's one of the Cal States that's considered basically a UC because it's like very impacted. I don't know if you want to add anything on this one.
No, very impacted school, really awesome. It's one of the schools that every year students that come up to me that say like, oh, I want to do this school, I always tell them like, to be honest, I can't tell you what are your odds of getting into the school. It's just a hit or miss. Every year it's just different where they say like yes to you, no to you. It's just whatever they feel or whatever the vibe is that year, what they're looking for is how they admit. So there's really like other schools I could tell you like, oh, for sure, you can get into this school. You give us your information, I could say like, oh, for sure you can get into like San Francisco State, or for sure you can get into this school. But this is just a school that just kind of swings it out and kind of opens it up to you because it's so competitive.
Yeah, this is a very competitive school, but I mean, it's an amazing school. That's why I'm like top notch. I love this school. It is in San Diego, so you know it's not down the block. So you do like a lot of people end up living on campus, but the dorms, I didn't get to go into the dorms. I was just able to see the campus itself, but it was just so big. There was so much to do within the campus that we didn't even get to the dorms. And most schools we were able to like walk around the campus and then get to the dorms. But here I feel like it's just a big campus. There's well, based on this 2019, 33,870 students enrolled. So that's a lot. So you already know that you're not going to go to a class with 10 people. Like most of your classes will have like a lot of students in, but that's why you have to keep in mind, you know, what am I looking for? But yeah. Let me see. Jose wants to say something about San Diego State. He'll say it.
No, I just wanted to say too, for like a lot of you guys who like maybe who are like sports fanatics or whatever, UC or like San Diego State tends to host a lot of like I guess tournaments, like sports tournaments. I know we went to one for soccer and it was really like, I don't know, it was really packed. The life was, like it was vibey. It was I don't know how to explain it. It was just like, it felt like you were actually playing for the team, even though it was just a club team, you get me? And on top of that, like, I don't know, it's a really pretty school. Like, it's just something out of a movie. Like, every building is like white. I don't know, it just looks really, like, really beautiful.
The architecture is
yeah, it's
insane.
really pretty. But yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, he just wanted to share that. But yes, if you want to school with us, like you're thinking of school, like I want to go to a football game, I want to have like a university that has school spirit. This is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all for today. I know today was very long, but keep in mind it is 23 schools. Next week we're gonna be talking about UC, so please join. It's much smaller, but it's still gonna be good. You want to make sure you learn all about these schools, and after that we're gonna learn about private schools, and we just want to ensure that you're being informed. And we are so thankful that you stayed all the way if you did. And then thank you, Eddie, for helping me with these schools.
No, of course, of course. Thank you all. Thank you all.